Hi, today I'm welcoming you into my kitchen to show you some of my very favorite things for cooking great food. A huge piece of being healthy is doing your cooking at home. And in order to have that really work for you, it's going to be key to have some basic tools. Now, you don't need to have everything that I have here, but I know from doing cooking classes in clients' homes that when there is a key piece missing, like even a good knife, when you're cutting, it can make all the difference in whether it's a fun and easy experience or if it's really challenging. So I'm going to just start off by showing you some of my favorite things. There's an entire island here full of gadgets that we will get to, but I'm going to start off with this one to show you what we have. We ditched the microwave. I actually will not allow a microwave to be in my house. But what we have in its place is this absolutely wonderful toaster oven. And I'll zoom in, you can see that it's a Breville. I'm not getting any reimbursement for saying that, but it is amazing. We've had a couple different toaster ovens with varying levels of success. This one is really great. We can toast, bake, roast, broil. You can make pizzas in it. It even comes with a pizza pan. It comes with a baking pan. Reheat food, warm food. It's just really a key piece of our family life. The kids use it, we use it, it's the best. Right there next to it, I'm not even going to get into that a whole lot, is a juicer. I have it, use it occasionally. I don't consider it a key piece of my life. So going back over here, this is a crock pot. Now I'm sure you all grew up with the old-fashioned kind of little small crock pots. It's made by the same brand. It's a rival crock pot, but they have come a long way. They now actually are large enough that you can fit a whole chicken or roast and no problem. It's got a nice ceramic lining that is actually removable, so you could just bring it right to the table or for service if you wanted to. But crock pots are an incredible way to put in a very little amount of time in your cooking and get a very great return. Also, by the same company, here is our rice steamer, or rice cooker, and also a steamer. We were given one as a wedding gift, actually, about 17 years ago, and thought, how ridiculous. We know how to cook rice. We don't need this. And we got rid of it. And then a few years ago, where were we? We were somewhere where we were using a rice cooker and realized this is great. You can put the rice in, walk away. It will switch it when it's done cooking. And the light's not going to go on because it's not plugged in right here. But you just flick a switch for cook. And then when it's done cooking, it will go up to keep warm and it will stay that way, making perfect rice, quinoa, any grains. Works perfectly every single time. This right here is an electric teapot. Now I realize that's not essential. A lot of people love to just put their tea on the stove. But what's really great and why I've included it in this selection is one, it boils water almost instantly. It seems like 30 to 45 seconds you've got boiling water. And then it automatically shuts off. This is great for the environment. You can turn on your stove, and whether you have electric or gas, you're going to have that going for quite a while before you reach a boil. This is really quick. And so it's not just the convenience factor, but it's also the energy savings factor. In the back, now this is an extravagant piece, I admit, but this is a Cuisinart skillet, and I don't know if you can really appreciate the size of this. It's quite large. And again, on the inside, that looks like a nonstick surface. It is not. That is one of the environmentally friendly ceramic surfaces. It's pretty deep. I cook many a meal in this. It plugs in right here, goes into a standard outlet. Made by Cuisinart. It's one of my favorite things that I own. I was a little hesitant to buy it because it was not cheap, but it's been well worth it. We use it all the time. A lot of the electric skillets that you'll find in just kind of the typical department stores will have a Teflon nonstick coating, and again, that's something I won't allow in my house. This is a Dutch oven. Not something that you have to have, but boy, does that come in handy. It's a little similar to the crock pot in that you can put things in and walk away and hours later have a great meal. This is incredibly heavy. Cast iron with an enamel glazing. I just love using this. You can put it right on the stove top if you want to saute or brown your ingredients first. and then add your liquids, cover it up, put it in the oven, and you can just let that slow bake all day long. That one goes from stovetop to oven to table, a great piece. Right behind it is an immersion blender. Hope you can see this whole thing. I've had a couple different ones. I had a cheaper one and it broke because I use my tools pretty hard. Everyone in my family cooks. So I upgraded to this. It's a Bamix. I've got it at Williams-Sonoma. It's got a stainless steel shaft instead of the plastic, which I really like for ease of cooking. It also has interchangeable blades that can go on the bottom. So in addition to using it as an immersion blender, you could also whip things. It's actually has several attachments, which I haven't yet played with. But that is wonderful if you're making soups or any kind of a sauce. If, let's say you're making gravy for Thanksgiving and you've got lumps, and you can whisk that all you want. You're not going to get those lumps out. But as soon as you put an immersion blender in there, you have got smooth, beautiful gravy without a problem. Now, you've seen me do this before, my green smoothie demo, but this is not your everyday blender, folks. This is the Vitamix. I love this. I have a dear friend who's a colleague of mine that when she travels, she packs this puppy in her suitcase, and it's heavy. But this is so powerful. It will blend anything and do a great job of it. Now I'm getting to some kind of just basic tools, which again, they may seem obvious to you, but if you try cooking without them, you're going to find how much difficulty you have pretty quickly. Underneath these knives is just one of my many cutting boards that are wooden. I have some smaller ones, which are great when you just have a little job to do and you want to pull out a little board. I also included these, which are, you can hold it up to the light there so they're see-through. It's just a plastic or vinyl cutting board. And I don't have a whole lot of plastic in my house, but this is something, I actually got them with my Vitamix, and they're labeled on top. I don't know if you can see that. One says meat, one says fish, one says poultry. But just for safety's sake, I like having those. I can run incredibly hot water over them. I can put them in the dishwasher for cleaning, things that you'd never want to do with your wooden cutting board. So I try to keep meats on those, and everything else, all my veggies, I cut on these cutting boards. Now, knives are really a big part. Before I met my husband, I don't even know what I had for knives. I can't imagine where I got them. A dollar store, maybe? They weren't very good. Then enters my husband into the picture, who went to the CIA and is very particular about his knives. This is one of his from probably 25 or 30 years ago. It's a Forstner bread knife. You certainly don't need to have that brand, but you can see the serrated edge. It's a nice long knife that is used very frequently in our house. This knife, again, was his. I'm not sure of the brand. It doesn't say. But this style of knife is a French knife. You may have seen me do this in my sauteed kale demo. This was a knife I used. You want a good, solid knife for doing your chopping. This has also got a great heft to it. What's really key in your knives, maybe more important than almost anything else, is to pick them up in your hand before you buy them and see how they feel to you. You really want to make sure that they have a good weight in your hand. This is a little KitchenAid French knife, a small one, that I like for little jobs. I don't like having knives bigger than I need, but that's just me. My husband could probably be happy with these two knives, actually, and this paring knife, which was his. It's a Victorinox. Very lightweight, very sharp, can get into small little jobs. That's a great knife. And this is a knife that I got, also a paring knife, that is a Cutco knife. And I've been very happy with this one as well. Then we're moving on to a few items that look very similar, and they are microplane graters. This one, the small one, it's long, but very, very small holes. I don't know if you can really appreciate how small those are, is a zester. It's great for hard cheeses like Parmesan. It's good for lemon zest, orange zest, lime zest. This is a microplane grater with larger holes, and they're kind of ribbony, and this is for soft cheeses. This again is a microplane that would be good for hard cheeses. Now I know that seems like we're being a little picky. However, the difference they make is kind of shocking. I had always used a traditional box grater, and I kind of grated everything I needed to grate with the same one, and I didn't always like doing it. And then when I started getting these, which are a little bit more job specific, boy, did they make everything so much easier. This is a small handheld mandolin. Now, I have on my wish list one of those fabulous big mandolins. It's a big piece of equipment. But one thing I've realized when you're a foodie and you cook, it's really easy to get a lot of products into your house, and then where do you put them all? And this just fits in the drawer. I don't know if you can see how that blade is a little bit raised. The last thing I made with this called for some very finely shaved potatoes. And this just did the job beautifully and easily. A whisk, now this may seem obvious, but if you don't have it, you're going to miss it. Cheap, non-expensive tool. These are a fabulous thing. I never would have known this until we were given them as a wedding gift nearly 20 years ago, and they're just basic utility kitchen scissors. They come apart for easy cleaning. I don't know if you can notice this, but there's actually even a wire cutter in between. I can use these to cut apart chicken if I felt like it. You can use them to get into cryovac packaging, boxes, any job. And you don't have to worry about ruining your good scissors. These can handle anything. They're really tough and rugged, and one of those absolutely must-haves for your kitchen. Measuring spoons, kind of goes without saying what they're for, but make sure that you've got measuring spoons and measuring cups that aren't all dented up, because sometimes they won't measure properly. This is a silly little peeler, but boy, do I like it. I always used to use the style that was more handheld and long, but I'm really enjoying this one. It's great for odd-shaped vegetables. And then it's just great to have, I also have wooden spoons. I have lots of spoons and lots of rubber spatulas, but just great for getting around the edges of things. And my very favorite garlic press. This is one of those items that I'd say invest in it, folks. They don't cost much, but a garlic press really is an incredible tool. And having a large glass, this is a Pyrex. You've probably saw one in your mother's or your grandmother's kitchen. They've been around for a long time. But a 4-cup glass measure is great. And lastly, that's just one set of my mixing bowls. I have them in ceramics. I have Pyrex. I've got stainless steel. I have many, many mixing bowls. But it is key to have various sizes, because very often you'll be doing a recipe and it will call for dry items to be in one bowl and wet items to be in another. And if you only have one bowl, that's not going to serve you very well. So there you go. It's a quick look at some of my favorite tools for getting the job done. Have a good day. And remember, eat clean, live green, and be healthy.